welcome to the Actual Tech Media EcoCast. My name is Jess, and I am excited to be here with you all today. But before we jump into our content, I have some basic information that I want to cover with you. All right, let's kick off our day here today by taking a quick tour of your audience console. And we're going to start with the questions window. So if you haven't already said hi, there is a whole audience of cool humans out there, so reach out and give a wave to the other members of the Actual Tech Media community. Now, keep in mind that if you do have any technical issues today, a browser refresh is going to fix just about anything. But if those tech gremlins are clinging on today, no problem. Just throw a comment in the question section and our crew will be there to help. We also want this to be an informative webinar for you, so throughout today's EcoCast, we hope you'll get engaged and ask all your burning questions. Not only will we have team members responding to you over a live chat, we will also have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of our presentations. Now, if we don't get to your question during the live webinar today, don't worry, because the awesome experts that we have here with us will be following up after we wrap. All right, next up, there's going to be lots of cool aha moments on the EcoCast today. And if you want to share those with your community, we've made it nice and easy for you. You can use the Twitter button right there in your audience console, and the hashtag for today's EcoCast will be automatically added to your post. All right, our last stop on this guided tour, be sure to check out the handouts tab for some awesome resources and takeaways from our speakers here today. We have an info pack collection, solution briefs, white papers, data sheets, free trials, ebooks, upcoming webinars, and more. So many great resources, so be sure to go explore. Now, if that wasn't enough fun, we also have some exciting prizes that we'll be giving away throughout today's EcoCast. I'm going to tell you a bit more about those later on, but a few quick reminders for you all. First, you do need to be here live in attendance at the EcoCast in order to qualify to win a prize, and we will follow up with all of you after we wrap. Now, all winners must submit an IRS Form W-9 to Actual Tech Media, and all winners must meet the Actual Tech Media prize terms and conditions. Now, if you don't know what those full T's and C's are, that's fine. We've got the full thing for you. Just head on over to that handouts tab, click in, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll find them waiting for you there. Now, the absolute most important thing to remember is that we love getting all your insightful questions during these live webinars. In fact, we love it so much that we actually have a special additional prize for all you inquisitive folks out there. So in today's EcoCast, we will be giving away a prize for the best question asked in each of our live sessions. Now, the expert speakers and teams will review all questions asked after we wrap the webinar, which means that even if your question does not get read out in a live session, there is still a chance to win. If you are a lucky winner here today and you would like to donate the value of your prize, we have several wonderful organizations that we partner with. So let us know when we follow up about your big win, and we'll get that rolling for you. Again, we are so happy to have you all here with us live at the EcoCast today, and we want to keep that good feeling going, so let's connect on social media. Reach out and connect with Actual Tech Media on Twitter and on LinkedIn. We have lots of great content, and we always want to hear from you. Now, if you're looking for more awesome content and resources right after we wrap the EcoCast today, be sure to subscribe to the Actual Tech Media channel on YouTube. Another fun way to win a prize and, hey, grow this awesome community is to refer an industry friend or a coworker to the Actual Tech Media webinar series. Now, you'll find a link to do that right in your handouts tab, and you will also be automatically redirected at the end of the webinar. And both you and your coworker or friend could win a prize, and we hold those drawings every month. So be sure to refer a friend because, it could quite literally be a win-win situation. Next, we have a cool opportunity for all the decision makers out there to get connected with new and emerging tech and innovative vendors. Here's how it works. All you need to do is click on the link in your handouts tab, fill out a quick application, and the Actual Tech crew will then match you with some vendors that we think you should probably be chatting with based on your needs. There will also be fun opportunities that you get to choose to join in, like surveys, test runs, new solutions, extended demos, and so on. You'll get some chances to win extra prizes, you'll chat with great people, and you'll learn about the hottest new trends in tech. So be sure to apply, or hey, send that link to a decision maker on your team. Now, I want to take a quick minute here to remind you all about one of my favorite resources, and that is ransomware.org. You can find out everything you need to know about ransomware, how to prepare, prevent, and recover. This site is jam-packed with information, helpful tips, checklists, strategic approaches, case studies, everything you need in one place. So wherever you are in your ransomware preparedness journey, there is something for you at ransomware.org. Go check it out and start exploring. All right, I have one more exciting resource I have to tell you about today, and that is the Gorilla Guide Book Club. It's going to give you access to free enterprise IT books authored by top industry experts, so you can stay up to date on trending enterprise technology. And yes, these books will work on your Kindle, your mobile device, and as I said, they are completely free. You can download these awesome resources at gorilla.guide, and there's a link for you in that handouts tab as well. All right, well, we have covered a lot of important things already, and I don't know about you all, but I am excited to dive in. So let's get going.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Actual Tech Media EcoCast, understanding the complete data and analytics landscape. Glad to have you here with us today. I want to start by saying a big thank you to all of you for joining us. It is so great to have you here. And I want to shout out to some of you who are online right now and joining us. And that includes Adam and Venkat from Virginia, and Steve and Ed from St. Louis, Serge from Canada. Let's see, Deepak from Virginia, Paul, and Jake from Pennsylvania. We have just got you coming in from everywhere. Scott from North Carolina is ready to go. Jeffrey is here from Atlanta. Martin and John and Ben from Arkansas. Murray from California. Edgar, Greg from Atlanta. A couple of Atlanta folks here, and probably many more of you today. So that's a little bit of the audience here today. So glad you could be with us. And on the EcoCast today, we are going to be hearing from one of the industry's leaders in data and analytics, and that is Actian. For those of you I haven't met yet, I am Keith Ward, that guy on the right there. And we have got fellow moderators, Jess Steinbach, who you met right at the beginning, and Scott Becker is our other fabulous moderator. Always glad to be here, always glad to be with you. And along with the content that you're about to get, we also have got some fabulous prizes. In fact, we have 3 of them today. 3 $300 Amazon gift cards we're going to give away to a few lucky registrants. As Jess said at the beginning, you have to be here through the entire event to be eligible to win those. So enough of that. Why don't we get going? Hey, Andre, nice to see you from Maryland, also in my neck of the woods. All right, with that, I want to get started on this. Can't wait to hear from Phil Russum. He is our keynote speaker today. He's going to be joining me for a conversation about this topic, the data and analytics landscape. Philip is a consultant and analyst for data management and analytics. He has been doing this a very long time and is quite knowledgeable. So Philip is ready and waiting, so he's going to join me online and here in just a minute. Philip, if you're ready, let's get going on this. Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. We are delighted to have Philip Russum joining us today. Philip is talking with me about understanding the complete data and analytics landscape. Okay, now a little bit about Philip. He's an independent industry analyst and consultant who has worked at leading IT analyst firms, including Gartner, TDWI, and Forrester. For decades, Philip's coverage area as an analyst has focused on data management and advanced analytics and how the two must work together to help organizations modernize and transform, plus keep pace with emerging technologies and evolving business environments. Philip, so glad to have you on today. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to see you, Keith.
You too. So let's dive right in. First question I've got for you today. How do you recommend that user organizations think of their data management and analytics tools and techniques? Now, in particular, what ways of thinking can result in a complete view of what I assume is a really complex landscape?
Right. Well, first of all, I can corroborate that the data and analytics landscape is indeed very complex, largely because of the many kinds of IT tools and data platforms that it takes to collect and manage data, plus analyze the data in multiple ways. So from that viewpoint, from the viewpoint that there are lots of tools and platforms, many organizations, I'm thinking of IT organizations, many IT organizations, or say a subset of that, like the data and analytics teams, they practice some form of computer software and hardware portfolio management. And portfolio management enables them to know what tools and platforms they have, plus understand the associated costs, maintenance requirements, staffing requirements, portfolio governance, and so on. So keeping an accurate inventory of data and analytics tools and platforms, it's a useful start for creating a complete portfolio-based view of the landscape. But other kinds of views are necessary as well. For example, the many tools and platforms used for data management and analytics must communicate with each other to bring data into the landscape, to process that data for multiple forms of analytics, to create a variety of data products from old-fashioned reports to cutting-edge AI, and also to deliver data products to a wide range of people who need to consume data. So to represent how the landscape is actually connected, sure, it's a long list of tools and platforms, but to represent how those actually interoperate with each other, and as well as the many data sets that are part of this landscape as usual, we usually create what's often called architectural views of how a data and analytics landscape manifests itself in an individual organization like a company, university, or government agency.
So views of the data and the analytics landscape based on portfolio or architecture are important. But what are some of the other views that you mentioned?
Yeah, very good question. It is inevitable that data will travel across the connected architecture that an organization constructs as its infrastructure for managing data and creating analytics. And in fact, there are many data flows. Sometimes we call them data pipelines. Sometimes we call it data integration and so forth. So there are many data flows that coexist, and each data flow collects data from multiple sources, processes the data to be fit for multiple analytic purposes, and then delivers processed data to end user applications. And in fact, the numerous data flows that crisscross a data and analytics landscape help to connect and unify the landscape. In fact, they can constitute a kind of micro architecture within the larger macro architecture of the landscape. And in this particular example, where we have a micro architecture for moving data around in and out of the landscape, that's quite often called a data integration architecture, or this new term called the data fabric. Now, just as data integration and the data fabric can be an architecture that's laid upon the data and analytics landscape, other layers are possible as well. For example, there are lots of development processes that get overlaid, such as development processes for data engineering. That's where we actually create those data flows and data pipelines I mentioned. Other development processes for creating reports and management dashboards, or for creating new stuff like analytic modeling, as you would do with new analytic practices typically enabled by artificial intelligence and machine learning. And then as another example, consider that a lot of human users, as well as a lot of technical processes like those data integration processes, they will all access data. And so all of these access points within the landscape need to be controlled. Therefore, a landscape will also have one or more architectural layers where tools provide security, governance, a variety of interface methods, support data standards, like say standards for data quality. So you can have control layers for all that stuff added to the landscape as well.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's dive in a little bit more then on the data itself. Does the actual data of a landscape get similar structures and processes applied to it?
Yeah, absolutely. The data itself, the data being managed by this large landscape, does typically have architectures. And in fact, it's pretty common that you'll have people with a job title similar to data architect. And the data architect will design both small data structures, like, say, the tables within a database, record structures, data models. The architect will also design large data structures like whole databases and how multiple databases share data or synchronize data among them. So when you have numerous small and large structures such as these combined, the result is a kind of data architecture.
Gotcha. So then these architectural layers you're talking about, they add a lot of complexity to the data and to the analytics landscape. Now, given that, is there a convenient way to summarize the resulting complexity?
Right. You and I have just sort of scratched the tip of the iceberg. There can be many, there could be dozens of architectural layers that span across a data and analytics landscape. But you know what? It does help to summarize it by pointing out that there are really three broad areas that everything boils down to. So, for example, and if you want to sort of build a picture in your head, a lot of people imagine the data consumption layer being at the top of this architectural stack, sometimes called a technology stack too, you know. So the data consumption layer at the top, that's where users typically apply tools and their skills for reporting, dashboards, data science, advanced analytics. And this is really a layer through which human beings, you know, the end users, they receive and consume data from the landscape. Now, that was the first layer. In the middle is what we typically call the data fabric. And this is where you have lots of tool types for data integration, data quality, semantic tools for metadata management, data cataloging. You may also be addressing real-time data, like capturing data streams and so forth. So the data fabric in the middle of the architecture, that's really to bring data into the landscape as well as to process it and get it ready for multiple purposes. And then finally, the third layer is that we usually think of as being the bottom. So the bottom layer is for data storage. So that's where data of diverse structures is stored in file systems, database management systems, sometimes called DBMSs. And storage itself quite often has organizational architectures to it. Data storage today is progressively organized as data lakes, data warehouses, or a combination of those two in the so-called data lakehouse. Now, notice that each of these three broad areas has its own architecture, and yet within each of these three architectural layers, there can be multiple microarchitectures. So my point there is that when a landscape in IT is manifested, there are always typically architectures within architectures. In other words, there's not one layer of architecture. There's typically several, no matter what kind of applications we're talking about.
Gotcha. Now I can see some of the people attending this EcoCast today being a little confused by this point because that you're going pretty deep into this. So, final question for you today, Philip. Given the complexity that you've been discussing, is having a complete data and analytics landscape with, of course, the appropriate architectural structures worth the effort and the costs that are going to be necessary to set something like this up properly?
Yes, I think it is worth the effort, and that's because creating appropriate architectural structures to go with your large portfolio of data and analytics tools and platforms, doing all that is worth it because that enables high value, data driven use cases that the business can get a lot of benefits out of. For example, if we look at the use cases that are enabled, we're enabling older use cases like business reporting and dashboards, as well as the new business cases for predictive analytics, increasingly driven by machine learning and artificial intelligence. You know, also there are highly beneficial use cases outside of analytics. And so businesses also from this, well-architected landscape, they also can build complete views of customers. They can do business monitoring through data. They can embrace real-time practices, especially in logistics, right? Nowadays, everybody wants to know exactly where their shipment is at any given point in the day. And then finally, a lot of data-driven marketing campaigns and other kind of, say, e-commerce-based marketing, a lot of that depends on large amounts of data well-architected. However, keep in mind that to get full business value from the tool and platform landscape for data management and analytics, it will definitely start with a fairly complete portfolio, and that's where you and I started, Keith. That's where we started talking. But it cannot end there. You have to get beyond the organization's portfolio of tools and platforms and understand that the tools and platforms there need to be integrated. Another way to put it is they need to interoperate with each other, because like we pointed out earlier, data travels and it will travel from tool to tool and platform to platform. Has to be really good communication infrastructure there as well. So it's not just having the tools, it's integrating the tools so they interoperate. And then also sort of another success factor would be that an organization's portfolio of tools and platforms must be structured through thoughtful designs and architectures. In other words, people have to put, you don't just get a bunch of tools and throw them together. You think about, the big pictures and how we're going to create a series of architectures within the larger architecture. So there has to be a design there. And then finally, the designs that you come up with, they really have to address real world business requirements. So you have to know where's the business going and what does it need from data and analytics to get there.
Right, absolutely. Philip, I really appreciate you being on with us today. I think the bottom line here, from what I'm hearing, is that yeah, it's going to take time. It's going to take some money to get all this set, but then you have to think about the opportunity cost of not doing this, and of your of your competitors getting ahead of you and not taking full advantage of the data that you've got. So, Philip, I want to thank you so much for helping us to understand the data and analytics landscape today, for untangling some of the confusion here. It's really been a delight to have you on.
Well, good talking with you today, Keith, and thank you very much for getting these issues in front of your audience.
Absolutely, and I think this is a great setup for the rest of this event today. All right. Thanks for that awesome keynote discussion, Philip. He's always fun to chat with. His knowledge is vast and deep and wide, and a pleasure to talk with him. So, time for our first poll question, and that is this: what is your time frame for adding new or updating existing IT solutions at your company? Are you in the midst of it right now? Is it happening almost right away, or you got a year or so, couple years? Or do you really just not know at this point, which may be one reason you're here right now? So let us know. Vote in that poll for another few moments while we get ready for the main event here. We're seeing a wide variety of responses from you today, and they're pretty evenly distributed. A lot of you are looking at a year to two, and 6 months to a year. So we're seeing that you are as varied as we expect. Keep those answers coming in while we get rolling with our main event here today. And thanks for voting in that poll. As always, we so much appreciate your feedback and your interactivity here on the event. So let's move to our main event now. And that is the introduction of our presenting vendor today, and that is Actian. And handling things for Actian today is Vamshi Ramarapu, the Vice President of Engineering for Actian. Vamshi, welcome and thanks for being here today. I'm going to turn this mic over to you now, so take it away.
Thanks, Kate. Welcome to this webinar on data monetization strategies. I'm Vamshi Ramarapu. I lead product development for the Actian Data Platform. My focus is on development of the Actian Data Warehouse, its data platform, the hybrid data platform, data integration products, focusing on data quality, scalability, and reliability of our services. I've been in this industry building and using data management solutions for about 20 years now. My focus has been on platform engineering, databases, analytics, and cloud-native development. Prior to Actian, I've worked at payment networks, Visa and MasterCard, for about a decade, building platform solutions for peer-to-peer payments, buy now, pay later payments, and digital wallets. With 2+ years at Actian, I've been focused on working with industry experts and solution experts on data management, data monetization, and data warehousing solutions. So today, what we'll be doing is we'll go with an overview of data monetization, of what strategies are involved in monetization around data, the challenges, and potential solutions to these challenges as well. I'll also highlight a case study and also list out a few items to think about as you're getting started on this journey. To provide a little bit of context, Actian has been in this space for 50 plus years. In the 1970s, when we started with the Ingress products, we like to say that Actian was in the room when data got started. We've been engaged on SQL standards and the committees around that. Our product solution is built around an ecosystem to support partners that want to connect, manage, and analyze solutions. So we support enterprise and mid-sized companies that would like to take advantage of our suite to use data integration products, build mission-critical data management solutions, and perform high data analytics. What we look for is unique needs and requirements of customers in EU, APAC, and Americas. We built some of these insights from our conversations with our customers, some of the research studies we've done, and our experience and expertise in solving these mission-critical data problems. Let's dive into it. Let's get an overview of what data monetization is. We all know that there's an explosion of information, and that explosion is accelerating. Data is becoming the most critical asset. It's the critical corporate assets that companies would like to take advantage of in increasing their revenue, lowering their costs, or to manage risks. Now, the challenge that faces most of the leaders in the corporate world is an understanding of how to monetize this data, how to gain a competitive edge for their company, and how to benefit from the data both internally and externally. What this could help with is an understanding of the data that they have collected, that they have analyzed, and are willing to share or monetize on. There are several use cases to consider when you're thinking about data monetization. For example, you could use data monetization towards increasing sales. You could optimize your pricing, you could optimize your promotions. There are a lot of use cases around analysis of customer data, how to acquire, how to retain customer data. Thirdly, it's about the processing of data. So data monetization finds a lot of use cases in helping companies improve forecasting and planning, and around monetization of this data. So there are various ways in which companies can use data for external monetization, for sharing with partner companies, for building product suites around data that they have collected and analyzed. So with these use cases, there's plenty of opportunity and a good chance for building on the data that we want to use. Now let's take a look at the various challenges in monetizing data. There are several hurdles that companies need to overcome to manage data monetization projects. First and foremost is data silos. We need to look at how data is organized after collection within a company, and if silos are present, what challenges do they provide? Data integration continues to be a challenge, particularly when you have many silos to deal with. Hybrid infrastructure is a very new challenge, primarily as companies have either transitioned to or are on the path of transitioning to the cloud. And what we see with our customers is a hybrid use case where some data is on-prem, there's some data on cloud, there are some data spread across various cloud providers as well. There's a definite need for real-time analytics, and there are challenges associated with accessing real-time analytics as well. Various companies that we work with have platforms that they have invested in, that they have understood that it does not either scale or does not meet the requirements that they have to help them develop data monetization strategies. One often overlooked challenge is around skills. There are various skills needed in building a sound data monetization strategy. This evolves around cloud skills, data engineering skills, data science skills. What we've studied and found is 50% of companies lack good cloud development skills within their organization. Close to that, about 45% struggle with data integration and data quality skills. What we typically recommend is for our partners and for companies that we talk to lean on tech and platform partners that can help alleviate some of these skill shortages. Companies can also look at upskilling their employees on these skills, identify what SaaS offerings are available for either co-management or fully managed services that help with these skill shortages. What we've also seen as a challenge, particularly around our EU customers and also now in our North America customers, is about privacy, compliance, and regulation requirements. While data monetization brings forth many opportunities, these challenges and these mandates cannot be overlooked, and you need to pay close attention to how you solve these challenges. And last but not least, you would be transitioning from being a cost center to a profit center culture, because as you look at monetizing data, you're looking at an asset that you've primarily used for building products to using the data itself as a profit center. Now let's dive in a little more into the challenges and see what those challenges are and how you might be able to solve them. Forrester did a recent study called The Crisis of Fractured Organizations, where they talked about tools and how companies are drowning in tools. Large companies have more than 350 tools and systems to deal with. There's too much data and too many tools to handle the data. There's a lot of data quality issues as well. And these quality issues, they create noise that impacts the ability to get the right insights. So you're not able to build and create the right decisions out of your data because of data quality issues and these plethora of tools that you have at your disposal. And thirdly, manual processes. Automation helps building data pipelines and data processes around analyzing management and connection of data. But we see that a lot of companies struggle with manual processes as well. That slows them down. Typically, it costs about 2 hours of employee productivity every day to deal with the data quality and the data tooling issues. As you look at data monetization, one of the first challenges that we talked about was the presence of data silos. So as you have data silos spread across your organization, what you typically see is the impact on the agility, on the productivity, and the insights that you gain. All three of these areas are limited based on how many silos you have. When you have various data silos, your organization is not enabled properly to build trusted, flexible, and easy to manage solutions. So what you see is reduced productivity. You might see incomplete, inaccurate, or stale insights because some of the data you collected and analyzed might go stale by the time you've built your solution as well. So you need to manage integration of data and democratize some of this data internally to enable insights and monetization of this data. What we do understand is the impact of real-time analytics, the importance of real-time analytics as well, and data complexity overall makes real-time analytics a hard problem to solve. What we do understand is why data analytics needs to be real-time. As we collect a lot of this data, and we want to use the most effective solution. We want to see what executions are happening, how those queries are responding, and what customers are asking for. So when we engaged with some of our customers in real-time data use cases, we've seen customers build dashboards and solutions that cater to platform needs that demand less than 2 seconds of response times, sometimes for complex integrations and data merges as well. So what Actian does have is a patented delta tree insertion solution that has helped solve some of these problems for our customers. Data monetization, it is most effective when you have solved the real-time data analytics problem. Because as customers see that they're getting insights in real time, they're more likely to subscribe to the data solutions that you are proposing. And also, they might want to enable the right now solution as well, because near real time may not solve the needs for data customers, and they may not transition into your data monetization customers. The next challenge that we've touched upon earlier and want to look at deeper is about protecting privacy and securing your data. While you look at securing your data, you understand that customer data privacy and complying with regulations is of paramount importance. Recent studies have shown that there have been 700 plus data breaches this year. 39% of businesses have been impacted by data breaches, and this is up by 4%. And this costs companies quite a bit of money as well as they deal with data breaches. And it impacts the revenue potential from your data monetization strategy. Industries that are particularly hit by it are healthcare, education, and financial services industries. They're both internal and external threats to be considerate about. There are human errors that lead to data privacy issues. As data managers, we need to be aware of data security, about data sovereignty, and data privacy issues as well. Simple encryption is not enough. What you have to look at is both encryption at rest, encryption in transit, having the right identity access management controls, having the right data access management controls, and a single pane of glass from a management perspective, where you're able to record and view access controls and who has access to what systems as well. It's imperative that you choose the right cloud data platform that enables these measures and helps you democratize your data while protecting data privacy. Now, as we look at these challenges, we understand that there's no getting around it. What data monetization needs is trusted data. And to build trust in your data and to build customers' trust, you need a trusted data platform. What you might want to look at is, what are your use cases? What are your scaling plans? How much of your data is on-prem? What's your hybrid use case for using the cloud? What data moves to the cloud? What does not? We also support partners in multi-cloud deployments, using private and public clouds as well, and enabling the right cloud security, the right optics and governance will help build an architecture that scales in supporting your monetization strategies. The cloud makes it easier to connect across locations. The elasticity features are great, where you could auto scale, you could build tuning capabilities onto it to meet the demands of your organization. While these features enable scalability and performance and remove constraints, cost could be a factor as well. And as you look at reducing costs around your data monetization strategy, what you'd look at is a platform that enables you to do that in a more hybrid model. Let's look at a case study where Actian has helped one of our customers, one of our airline customers, in building a data monetization platform and build strategy around that. Lufthansa Airlines licenses an application that they've built to other airlines and transportation companies. What this application does is it maintains and updates in real time information about flight paths, about flight restrictions, conditions of an airport, whether there's a closure or delays at it, whether there's significant turbulence in the horizon that could delay or impact flight schedules. Lufthansa Systems calls this Lido Flight. And with this application, they help to ensure that airlines and pilots and all of the corresponding services stay on time and meet their customer demands, help the cargo reach safely, help all of the passengers in ensuring hassle-free travel. Now, this application generates millions of dollars in extra revenue for its customers. And Lufthansa built this product using Actian's Ingress database solution. And with this monetization strategy, what Lufthansa has been able to do is to add an additional layer of income generation by monetizing the data that it had already built and collected. Now, we could look at various solutions like that, but this is a great example of a customer of ours that was able to take advantage of using data monetization and adding to its revenue while reducing its costs and mitigating the risks that it sees in its domain. Now, as you look to enforce or build data monetization strategies for your company, my recommendation is to start with the end in mind. Look at the domains that you're dealing with. What are the integration patterns to keep in mind? What are the data loading constraints? What businesses are you serving? And what integration needs to happen to build the right applications that serve your partners? Look at your deployment options as well. Hybrid solutions are great in meeting demands for enterprises, for keeping some data on-prem, some on the cloud, for taking advantage of the benefits that cloud provides in terms of scalability and security. Also use data sovereignty and data privacy constraints in helping make these decisions. Build personas and leverage skill sets, both internally within your company as you build up skill sets in cloud, data integration, data quality areas, but also from your platform partners, from your infrastructure as a service or software as a service partners. Look for partners that have a broad set of experience and a deep experience in this area. And last but not least, focus on the endpoints, right? Build a broad range of connectivity so that your customers have various options in connecting to your solution and taking advantage of the product that you've built. Now let's look at the key areas to think about as you get started along this journey, and check the boxes along the way so that you have a successful data monetization strategy. Number one, assess the data that you have. You might have data quality issues, you might have data integration issues, many silos to deal with, but have an honest assessment to understand what problems need to be solved so that your data is ready for monetization, that it is built for application development and to roll out as part of your monetization strategy. Second, define your goals so that your partners are aware of what challenges that you're solving with the data that you make available. And with the monetization strategy, you would have the right goal of what level of revenue you plan to generate or what costs you want to reduce what risks you're mitigating with this solution. Thirdly, understand your privacy, compliance, sovereignty, and governance requirements. This is a key aspect of where you deploy your solution, how you develop your solution, how you market your solution as well. As you look for solutions around data privacy, governance, and security, partner with companies and services that have deep knowledge in this space as well. Your data monetization strategy should be an overall strategy that impacts both the products that have already been rolled out and your customers that currently are engaging with your products, but also future customers as well. So building a short-term, mid-term, and a long-term monetization strategy will help you evolve the strategy along the way. Next is to invest in the right data infrastructure and analytics solutions. Some of the products that you already have in-house or are engaged with may not solve all of the challenges that we've discussed thus far in the monetization journey. Be open to adopting new products and also engage with solutions that potentially integrate seamlessly with your current products as well. As you invest in data infrastructure, in building for the long term with monetization strategies, analytics play a key role in understanding where your data solutions are being utilized and where they could be further marketed. That leads into the promotion aspect is once you've built these data monetization strategies and solutions is to promote those efforts, is to use your marketing efforts, your sales engagement leads, your engineering blogs, and other avenues. Because the more understanding there is about what data is being monetized and what use cases are being monetized, how customers and partners might be able to leverage and take advantage of these solutions, the easier it is to build additional monetization products around it. And last but not least, it is, as any project, it's imperative that you continuously evaluate, that you optimize all of these above steps about continuously assessing the data that you have, continuously refining the goals that you've built, updating privacy, compliance, governance, and sovereignty requirements as new rules and new laws come into play, refining your strategy and optimizing it, investing in data infrastructure as we see continuous improvements in infrastructure world, looking at different analytics solutions that need to be supported as well in this continuously evolving space, and to optimize along the way as well. Now, with these steps, I'm confident that you have the right data monetization strategy in mind and that it'll be a successful project as you deal with this initiative, in partner with the right companies and take advantage of the knowledge base and the solutions that they have built to succeed in the overall data monetization project. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you. Over to you, Keith.
Okay. Thank you so much for that fantastic presentation, Vamshi. Such great information. And it gave us so much understanding and insight in what's happening with the market landscape here. And I'm going to throw up a poll question now for everyone. We would like your feedback on additional resources that you would like to see from Actian. Now, we got a bunch of questions for Actian we really can't get to at the moment, but Vamshi and the Actian team will do their best to get back to you on any and all questions. So don't worry if your question does not get answered today. You will be hearing from Actian. I would also like to remind you at this point about the handouts. There is a great PDF from Actian that is a product overview, so I encourage you now to go over to the handouts section and download that and check that out, along with all the other handouts we've got there, as we mentioned at the beginning here. I want to thank everybody who's responding to the poll. That feedback is so important to Actian and to us. We love hearing what you're needing, and so we can hopefully meet those needs. While we continue to do that, we got another few seconds here for the poll, and keep voting until I move on, which I'm about to do right now. Thanks again for voting. You folks are the best. With that, everyone, we are going to give away the $300 gift cards. I said at the beginning we had three $300 Amazon gift cards, and we're going to give those away while I leave the poll up now. So the three winners we've got, as Jess mentioned right at the beginning, you do have to be present for the entire event to be eligible. And the winners for today, I'm going to do a little drum roll here on my desk. I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can hear me, I'm doing a drum roll on my desk. Okay, enough of that nonsense. The winner of the $300 gift cards for this event are Sarah Lambert from Kentucky, Jorge Pita from Texas, and Sean Wang from North Carolina. Hey, congrats to all of our winners today. Sit tight, all of you. We will be in touch ASAP about getting you those prizes. And with that, if you enjoyed this event, I sure hope you did. We want you to know that we can do something similar for your product, your platform, your solution. We would love to hear from you to help you determine which of our many hundreds of events each year would be a good fit for you. Please contact us at the address here, at the email you see, connect@actualtechmedia.com. Let us know that you want an event set up. We can do custom events. We can fit you in with other larger events, all of that kind of stuff. Everything is on the table. Let us know how we can help you out. Speaking of events, we've got a fantastic one coming up tomorrow that I wanted to tell you about. It's a virtual summit, and this one, as you can see, there is exploring innovation in IT, up-leveling business outcomes. So if you have a business and you want to go further with it, if you want to make operations better, smoother, more efficient, check that out. It is tomorrow, November 9th at 11 a.m., and that is 8 a.m. Pacific time. So you're going to have to get up early if you're on the West Coast. I am on the East Coast, not going to be a problem for you. But if you are on the West Coast, I promise it'll be worth your while to get up early tomorrow for that. So those vendors, you can see Strong DM, Rubrik, and TierPoint, a real lineup of heavy hitters. So check out that event tomorrow, and consider signing up as soon as this event is over, which is right about now, everyone. We are wrapped for the day. I wanted to thank all of you for being here today. I want to thank Vamshi for putting on such a great presentation. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot. I want to thank Actian as well for making this event possible. Finally, last but not least, I want to thank all of you for being on today's event. We are here for you. I just love spending time with you. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for your questions and for your interest in this topic. We will see you in the next one. Folks, you can get back to your day now a little bit sooner maybe than a lot of you thought, because we are officially done. That concludes the event. Have a great rest of your day.